You know, one of the questions that continues to confound me and stagger the imagination is how the human mind works. It's really a remarkable thing. Uh, Besides the probability that I got these words wrong, it doesn't matter. You know, this word delegate that comes up in the context of COM and aggregation and all that, and surrogate. Well, I thought that, and I think it's sort of true that the two words go hand in hand, although I think I have it backwards. A surrogate is a substitute, like a deputy, whereas a delegate is a representative. Okay. All right. Well, let's just pretend that those definitions are reversed, because now what did I do? I did the wrong one here. I want this one to go down there. Okay, I started working on this hex editor, right? And it was going great and everything, and I had the little edit control that I want to subclass the edit control, right? And then I started defining an extension to an edit control in the header file here. I don't want you to see that word. That does a few extra things and has its own WinProc, right? It's not virtual or anything. This can be called easily because this class knows all about medit, right? That it has this function. You don't have to invent a general thing. So can't help it. And then the UncOuter business came along that I discussed in my last video. That the edit control sometimes needs to use functions of the containing class, and I call this UncOuter because of the analogy with COM and aggregation. UncOuter represents a containing interface that another structure within it needs to know about sometimes, right? And this happens in the case of aggregation, where what you want to do is you want to implement another interface identically and be able to pass to the user a pointer to that interface, but you can't use the interface directly as you would by calling co-create instance and then getting a pointer to one of those things and passing it back, because that would violate the three basic rules of COM, right? The three standard rules, which are in this, happen to be in this COM plus document. Reflexive, transitive, symmetric. Reflexive meaning that's not symmetric. I remember I went over these words once when discussing it. At the beginning of this tutorial, I discussed these properties. One of the properties, I guess it's it might be the reflexive one, means that given an I unknown for a COM, an object returned from create in some kind of create instance, right? Factory, uh, the result of a factory call. Oh, come on, where is it? Here. Reflexive, symmetric, transitive. There must be only one I unknown that identifies the whole interface, right, for a given object. If the object's a collection of other objects, then it must be possible from any interface passed back from that object to obtain any other interface of the same object, right? Where is that now? The consequence, preserve identity, adhere to rules, understand implications. Well, anyway, it means that you should be able to go from one interface to another using the same I unknown, right? No, I don't know. The ion, there ought to be only one ion. See, two pointers must be identical, even though they might represent different interfaces. They might pull out different interfaces from the same pointer, right? As an ion node, there should just be one, and that would be like the outer class, the UNC outer. Well, then I was thinking about those words and the hex editor and the medit and all that, and the macro, and I changed the macro. Put it up in comment, put a big long description. And here's the new macro. It takes only one argument, which I'm calling surrogate. I think it should be called delegate, but I think I got the names reversed. It doesn't matter, but let's say I reverse these names. But I'm thinking of a surrogate as a controller, that controls delegates. Okay, and I know that the verb to delegate is to pass, to pass on. As a verb, delegate is to take a task and to pass it off to someone else, right? So a delegate to someone less senior. And I'm thinking a surrogate is a senior. Okay. So a delegate, I'm not sure about the word. Is it a verb to do with surrogate? No. How about that? Probably the only word in the English language that is only a noun. There's no you don't surrogate anything. You never surrogate. It's not something someone. I never believe it. It must be a verb version. In any case, pretend it's the way I'm thinking. So surrogate is like a controller who controls delegates. And what delegates do, or what delegate objects are things that delegate. They pass pass the buck to someone else. The someone else would be, let's say, an interface created from another object, another type of math, let's say, contained, the pointer of which might be contained in the surrogate class, the outer class, and used by the delegate to implement calls in order that that delegate can implement the interface of the other object. You see what I'm saying? And the user can be returned a pointer to a surrogate and an interface identifier identifying one of these, a delegate that delegates the work to some other object. Right? It doesn't implement that thing itself. So here we have a delegate object that delegates its work to something that implements interface. Okay, so it derives from interface, and in order to implement interface, the calls of interface, well, it could contain a pointer in itself to an interface type object, and then that return what those things call. It could obtain a pointer to another interface contained in the surrogate object, another interface, or the surrogate object itself. And all objects of this type in a collection contained in this surrogate would be an aggregation of delegates. Simple idea, right? You have a bunch of delegates that are contained within a surrogate, a controller, and it all started with the hex editor. So I tried just using my macro here. I put it in, it compiled and ran perfectly. No other code changes. All I had to do was put this here, standard delegate template for binary editor. So if I wanted to create a delegate object, I simply, declare one here. In this case, I want to extend the interface edit, so I derive from delegate of edit. Here are the extensions that I have to the edit interface, and this thing implements outer, or at least defines it, and it has to be implemented somewhere, but it can't be implemented here because we haven't built the outer thing yet. Now, the other thing I added at the bottom of this definition is this template, which is a template constructor. It takes one argument of a given type, probably a reference to something, and then calls interface says constructor for that type T. All right. So, for instance, if interface could be constructed from an int, which usually is a bad thing, but if it could be, I could use it here. In fact, I am using it, and one that works with an int. Actually, that should be a uint. But all of these controls have a single constructor, and then no default constructor, and the U control is the control identifier for the object. Now I don't have to write this code because this is implemented by template, where T here is int, and so that'll just go to interface, which is tsEdit of int, which should be uint of control. Then I noticed the following. Doing this actually covers every possible constructor, because what you do, and what I could do there, is I could create a copy constructor that were given that template by declaring it this way: my delegate, taking an object of the same type, constant reference, implemented as this, which is covered by this template thing. Any type, as long as there's only one argument, it's covered. So I can create a copy constructor. But if I have a copy constructor, I can create any other constructor. For instance, if I had a constructor that takes 4 types and arguments, I simply pass that off to the copy constructor by constructing a myDelegate as an argument to this constructor, which is implemented by the template, and so therefore no further template constructors need be added. In fact, what I should put here is just like what I had there, if I wanted to be correct. And I should change that to uint. Right? I'll just do this. And I could have that assertion. Can I have that possible? No, the assertion is elsewhere. In the real copy constructor, if there is one, I don't think I have one for these things. And then this here would be implemented this way. You see? The reason why this should be a uint is because of the danger, again, the danger of automatic conversions from int. Things get turned into ints automatically all over the place, right? And so it's never a good idea to have a constructor with anything. I can just change that to uint. I might as well, now that I'm thinking about it. The reason there's a U there is because initially it was uint, and then for some reason I changed it. What is this? This should be well, it could be, this could still be an int, but I have to cast it. Let's make it a uint for now. Things don't get promoted to uints, they only get promoted to ints. And then I change all these. But I use a lot of copy paste in here. And this one I used a lot. news, and capital D. Actually, I'll change it to little d. No, it has to be the same. That might cover them all. So the only place to silence the thousands of errors, undo that. That's where they all line up on this one. That should compile. And then I gotta change every other project. Right. So, somehow, I changed it because I wasn't thinking, and there were too many warnings, and I had to cast things in too many places. But I think this should be okay, because internally it turns back into an int, and so I won't have to do any other casts. Let me pause this for a minute. Perfect. No other warnings because I reverted this back to an int. So in the end, the uints all get turned into ints, and this internally in the code, elsewhere in the code, is treated as an int, and so I won't get any warnings for those. Then the thing runs. I was surprised that it worked. Oh, delegate. Text edit. I can use my little editor, subclassing and everything, and without any changes to the code. Here it is working. And the whole thing is just working normally. I thought maybe I might have to at least make a cast or something somewhere, but no. It's completely transparent. Yes, discard. So it just works. And so now, because for some reason I wanted to make a little hex editor, and that's completely clarified for me what they mean by delegates and surrogates and all that. In the case of com and aggregation, it's all to do with passing the buck, and it's exactly the same as this. Oh yeah, unc outer. Where is that? Well, I implemented that in my unit test, and I re-implemented it. This is the standard implementation, which could be a number defined. I showed you how this macro works. This keyword needs to be put in. I didn't have that keyword before, and it works. You don't have to put it. You don't have to write it that way. You could write it without the template modifier. But it's better to be consistent because I plan to make that into a macro as well. Right. Yeah. Previously, I had previously I had unc outer defined in my edit, but I don't anymore. So I do need this because I'm using the automatic delegation method now. Now this editor is quite interesting, actually. Here's one thing I found out. And here it is. Hex edit. Notice how it's not paused here, right? As okay, that's the debug version. No, that assertion. I'll go back so you won't see it. Also, it has that. It doesn't require. I thought it required something to get back to the command line. You know, like the other programs that launch a dialog box or something are blocking, right? Now, in Notepad Cute, I don't think I'm doing anything special. Here, I'm actually using the console for command line parameters and help. Let's see what Notepad Cube does. This is from so long ago. Load accelerators, nothing, right? And I wouldn't expect it. This could use my auto thing. I could say I should do the same. Oh, my con main has an H instance and an N command shell, which I should probably define con main this way, or have a separate one. I could make them global, so just set them first. But actually, I like the way that worked out. I might change it. The assertion is the other possibility is show what is it called? Normal default. These command shows are actually important. They have a meaning, but the meaning is processed in the message loop, I think. Yeah. Like, show normal means to see, some programs get it wrong. This here. And I got it wrong for a long time too. All this has done is unhidden itself. Okay, so it maintained its state, which was maximized. If I close this program and run it again, is that not what it's called? sorry, win name to con name. Oh, number 2. If I run it again, it should start out maximized. I think it does. No, yeah, it did. Okay. That was because it was not past the command show normal, which would mean not maximized. It was past show default, which is show yourself in your default, whatever the current default is. I think that's what that one means. Normal means this. Default means whatever the current default is, meaning the last state. Show is just unhide. There's also show maximized, which will never be passed in to win main. Maximized, minimized, nothing. There are only these 3 are ever passed into win main. And an example that we haven't installed, UA view here. If it happened to be maximized last time, it'll come up maximized. If it runs. If it happened to be minimized, it'll come up just not coming up at all. Oh, there it is. See, it's that's show normal. If I do this and just close the program and run it again, it should be past this, and I have to handle that, and I go to the maximized state. If it's I just press the minimize button, but that doesn't actually minimize it. It sends it to the system tray. Right, and doing that. But you'll notice it took 2 steps. I see. Maybe I do minimize it. And then hide it. I'm not sure. It's one of those nitty-gritty things that everybody gets wrong. I'm no exception. If I do this and exit, run again, it should be the system is sending this message, which is show default. Minimize default. I don't have an option for the system tray. It always uses the system tray. I think. Yeah. So I can't say for sure. Now let's see. This should come up not maximized. Question is, if I maximize, do that, exit, and then start from here, it should be maximized. And it did. I wasn't handling that correctly before. So it's not asserting anymore. That's a possible value. Yeah, hex edit has a slash question mark thing, and command line parameters. For instance, I think, like I showed you last time, how do I do that? If this thing is not a console program, it's the console programs that block, right? Like that XML view blocks. No. This is a console program, so what happens is even after it finishes loading up, it doesn't give the console back, but it can print to the console. This editor thing can print to the console, and the way that's done is quite trivial. It's exactly what I thought that one would have to do at startup. Now the hard part is printing and quitting. I'll show you what happens if you don't do this special thing. If not attach console, that means that it's being run by like a double click. Okay. If I run this thing by pressing enter here, you'll notice a console came up quickly and disappeared. And I don't really have to do that, but I want to make sure that there is a console in case I need to print out an error message. Now here's the funny thing. It takes like this help here. I'm going to comment out this line. What this line does is it posts a return key to the console window, and that occurs. I'm not freeing the console though, am I? But it doesn't matter. Even if you free even if you call this thing, it still leaves you in the following state. Oh dear. See what the problem with these things is. No, it worked. Didn't I just build it? Put S. No, that's not right. It's working properly. If attach. Where's the help requested? Help return wallet. Oh, no. It shouldn't matter. What I found was happening was it would just it would end up it wouldn't print out this line. For one thing, if I don't have this carriage return here, at least I'll show you this bit, then the printing starts. After I press return, the printing starts here, not on the next line. The return is eaten up. Building it? Okay, it's not building. It must be. That must be a problem. It's not, okay. So So it's gonna exhibit both problems. You'll see. It's quite comical because I don't know how many times I'd run into that problem and just give up on it because I couldn't see a way to fix it, and I realized, or I thought I realized that, oh well, you know, you have to press enter once more. Oh, wait a minute, if it hasn't been building, maybe I'm completely wrong about this thing working. Oh, I won't delete this video though, even if it fails. It's building, it's not giving any errors. No, I know it was building because when I changed the the implementation, the declaration of that unc outer, removed it from here, I got an error. Const equals unc outer, yes, but unc outer, the const, there is a const version, and it should go to the const version. See? Const, oh, I see. So that's just the declaration as well. Now see that previously didn't give me an error. So this way is much better. No, I didn't. I know I didn't change this. And I'm not modifying the surrogate with any of these calls. I mentioned that in the comment here. Pay strict attention to const modifiers. Overlay that. Now see, now that is a modification. The editor, and this is edit at. I see. So this should not be constant. That's the problem. Still go there? Because that does modify this function, modifies this data member. It's interesting that the way the consts work together, you know, like something that is a const function in here can't make a modification to the outer, which is the way it's supposed to be if this is really an integral part of this object. I'm going on for a long time, aren't I? I can check. It is a long time, yeah. But this is it. I'm going to just run it once and make sure it works. and I'll upload this. This here now provides for me a blueprint, not only a blueprint, but a mechanism to implement the my aggregated object. Maybe another name change. Maybe this should be called. No, this is a thing that delegates. Oh no, this is a surrogate. Where's the definition again? Substitute. This thing is a delegate. Well, it's deriving. Okay. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll just keep it cursive and all calls. Oh yeah, this can't be done that way. I took away the copy constructor. Alright, now let's see if it compiled. Does it work? It's working. So if you look at if you want to see it in action, you put a breakpoint here. So where are we? We are in binary editor, delegate of delegate of and edit controls function unc outer. But other than that, let's see. No, that's an internal function. This is in my special thing, but I want to see a call to. No, anyway, here a call to a TS edit. Okay, that's just a buffer. Okay, this call is a edit TS edit, right? And it didn't show how we got there. Maybe it'd be better to have another one here somewhere. Let's try it again. Put the breakpoint here. There's not much to see. It's a direct function call. It's just resolves it. That's nothing. Here's one where it's using the delegate thing, but otherwise the class itself, according to the template definition, derives directly from the thing in brackets. right? This, well, no, this thing derives from this. So when I make a call to one of this object's functions, it doesn't have to insert anything of a delegate. It just goes directly to the function, which is what it's doing. Put in this pointer, no adjustments, right? And call the ts edit get cursor offset, right? Nothing needs to change because, in fact, the delegate template struct doesn't even contain any data, nor does it contain virtual, virtual members or anything like that. If there were virtuals, things might be more complicated. Okay, anyway, that is of interest, I think. I think it clarifies a lot of things for me. And so I'm going to use this delegate thing for my proxy server. Okay, see you.